Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show 234 with yours truly, the hippie pastor. That would be me. As you may have noticed in the title of this show, yes, it's true, the hippie revolution. And let's talk about the 27 Club. The 27 Club were different musicians who mysteriously, in strange circumstances, passed away. And these were leaders of the hippie revolution. We're talking Jimi Hendrix, we're talking Janis Joplin, we're talking Jim Morrison, we're talking Brian Jones, we're talking a host of others of renowned rock and roll musicians of the hippie revolution who mysteriously passed away at exactly the age of 27. Even later on in life, Amy Winehouse, another one. Bad examples to the flock. So what was the hippie revolution? The hippie revolution was one of the greatest things that ever happened on the planet, one of the greatest revolutions for peace and love. The hippies and the music that led them, the leaders of the hippie revolution were these musicians like Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, we already mentioned those. Jim Morrison, there's another one from the 27 Club. I mean, leaders of the hippie revolution with their lyrics, and they wanted to change the world with peace and love. No more. This was during the Vietnam War, a very cruel war that we were engaged in, and the hippies wanted to change the world. Free love, make love, not war, and let this be a planet of love. Let's go back to nature. That was the message. Beautiful, like I don't think in history ever, as we're talking the world, it was worldwide in every country all over the planet. Young people were turning to the hippie revolution, and some of the, let's say the drugs, like the soft drugs like marijuana, LSD, psilocybin mushrooms, San Pedro, peyote, ayahuasca, all these hallucinogenic soft drugs which illuminated the soul, illuminated the brain, and put you more in touch with Mother Nature, away from this materialistic, superficial society there. And so the hippie revolution was crushed. It was crushed. It was abolished. I'm not too sure if the system or the shadows behind it had anything to do with the 27 Club of these hippie leaders that passed away. A lot of them passed away in the form of with heroin. Okay, heroin was used. These strong drugs which are destructive, like heroin, cocaine, crack cocaine, PVC, bazuco, cocaine paste. All these hard. Now we got fentanyl and crystal meth and these hard drugs that really destroy the body and the soul. But we're talking about the friendly, peace-loving, natural drugs of the earth that Mother Earth brought to us to enlighten our inner beings to peace and love and to be part of Mother Nature and respect nature, not destroy it like what's, the theme of the day. I remember once Paul McCartney was talking about how when they first did their first concert in the United States, they were in the limousine, and these beautiful model-type females hopped on the limousine to go with them to the hotel, for a night of pleasure, so the boys could have some relaxation. But then they pulled out heroin. These beautiful models wanted to inject heroin into the Beatles, and Paul McCartney, bless his soul, stopped the limo, had the limo stopped, and had them leave the limo and got rid of these floozies, these women of the world. And he said that from then it was a turning point in his life where, him and his wife, they always were advocates for marijuana and the softer drugs, LSD, but when you talk heroin and stuff like that, you're talking about destructive situations. So he's still going, he's still singing peace and love and all his love songs, bless his soul. And so that's what happened, and so the hippie revolution was definitely abolished. It was turned into something commercial, to get rid of it, you know, because the people that run the planet, like that are, you might call them warmongers. Is that a nice term to define these folks that live on war? That, you know, just like religion. Religion was created for war and to divide mankind, like John Lennon. Here's another great one. Well, he passed away at the age of 40, not the age of 27, but he was another great one, right? Who said, let's give peace a chance. And, you know, imagine all the people living in love and peace and love, right? With no religion. There you go, because he knew that religion was the destruction of mankind. Why not love? Why not the religion of love? Make love, not war. Tune in, turn on, and drop out, like Dr. Timothy Leary said. So that was the hippie revolution. It was like one of the greatest things that ever hit the planet. But it was abolished and pretty much brought to nothing. And so I would say that look at the world today. Look what it has become. Wars in every corner, right? For greed. Wars for greed, greedy wars. Not, if they were for a righteous cause, you know, then maybe. But even then, you know, hey, make love, you know, instead of making war. You know, so look at the planet. So I would say that let's bring the hippie revolution back to planet Earth, man. I'm speaking to the young people, man. Let's get back with it, with the softer drugs and the make love and not war and the feel good songs, right? About love and about changing the world in protest. We gotta stand up, man. You know, hey, we only go through this planet once, so make a difference. Make a difference in changing the world. Make a difference in making this world the way God intended, with love. Everybody's making love. Oh, even the butterflies are making love. You know, it's humans that come around here, these irrational animals called human beings, you know, just in a destructive mode. Who inspired them? Who told them to do that? We all know that we're just passing through. Nobody's here to stay. I mean, why not make a difference in a positive way? Make some treasures in heaven. I'm not saying to be religious. I'm just saying make some treasures in heaven and, you know, let your life be worth living. Make a positive influence on the planet. In spite of all this greed and murders and criminals and crime in the name of a flag, you know, borders and flags and let's kill the bad guys. We're the good guys. They're the bad guys. Everybody sings that same song. Wrong. Completely wrong. Ladies and gents, I'm signing up and out as a hippie pastor, you know, so let's not forget about the 27 Club. Investigate on your own about these leaders of the hippie revolution who died in mysterious terms, and heroin was used, you know, overdosing on heroin and stuff like that. We don't know what's behind all that, but we do know that the hippie revolution was turned into something commercial, and the world went back to materialism and greed, things that don't satisfy. Why is there so much unhappiness in the world today? People committing suicide left and right, kids drugging themselves, destroying themselves with drugs. Because look at this planet we live in. No love. We need more love. Okay? Signing out, the hippie pastor. God bless your soul. Thank you for